What's going on YouTube? Quentin here from Double Edge Games, and we're getting down with another episode of Is It Still Broken, which is where I take a PC port, or PC exclusive, whatever it may be, and we actually put it to the test to see, is this game still broken from when it released? Did they fix all their problems, or is it still a steaming pile of poo? So of course, we're actually going to get down with a game called Homefront the Revolution, and if you've been with me since the start of this channel, which has literally only been like maybe 5-6 months, actually a little bit longer than that, you would know that this was one of the first bundle of games that I actually reviewed, and you would know that I wasn't particularly fond of this game.
I'm talking to my girlfriend, I was just like, yes, I really want to like this game, but I can't!
So of course you know exactly how these are going to go. I give you a little background or a little history on exactly what made this game broken and my experience with it. So without further ado guys, let's go ahead and jump in this history lesson, boy. So, this game made one of the worst impressions on me just because around like the 2015 year, a lot of games, especially being released on PC and console, for some reason when they just decided, hey, let's throw these games out, they weren't fucking done. So all the games were actually broken, needed so much more work to be done when it comes to optimization and just like so many bugs in the game. It would make the whole experience just not enjoyable whatsoever. So what made me purchase this game? So back in the sale last week, well, at the time of this recording is March 14th. So pretty much last week, the game actually went on sale on Steam for about 10 bucks, and the base price is around like $40. And you could also pick up the expansion pass along with it to get all the DLC for around $11. So it is very difficult for me to go back to a game that burned me so hard, because it wasn't just because I wanted the game to run a certain way. I just wanted the damn thing to work. I would run out to the open world, and of course my shit would drop down to
24 frames!
And then also keep in mind, this build that I have is not some doo-doo ass build from like 2008. This build can definitely surpass the maximum requirements or the recommended settings for this game. So it made no sense of why was this game so busted to where it was just an annoyance to play. And then I was like, okay, I'll lower everything down and see if I can still play it. That was the only way I can play it. And then even occasionally it would still drop down to
24 frames!
And please don't think that I'm just some, PC Master Race guy. All he cares about is graphics. Let me just put this into perspective for you. There are people with GTX 1080s that couldn't even pull 60 frames in this game. That is one of the best cards that you can get out today. So if you buy a PS4 and you buy a game and all your games are running at, whether it's 1080p 30 FPS or like 900p 60 or whatever it may be, if you get a game and it's running at like 720p 20 FPS, you're gonna be pretty pissed off. And then it's just like, oh, well, it's not your your PS4 or your Xbox 360 or your Switch. It's just the fact that we just didn't have enough time to fix the game properly so it runs good. So that's the main issue. It's just the game did not work as well when it launched. Well, history lesson's over. So 9 to 10 months later, is this game actually holding up well? Is it still that steaming pile of poo that we talked about earlier, only holding up a good
24 frames!
I gotta honestly say, the game's in way better shape than what it was when it actually launched. The game can actually hold and maintain 60 FPS well on my build. I do hear people are still having issues with the game, but they are actually updating the game so they can try to fix those issues. But then again, we're about 9-10 months in, and a lot of people are still having some type of issues. Me personally, I'm not having as much issues as I have, but there's still some glaring issues, like the frame rate does dip down still a little bit. But it's actually rarely at that, so it's not as consistent as it was when it came out at launch, holding that constant like 24-25 frames. It seems like it's in better shape, and I can actually notice the changes and the differences, and I can actually appreciate what the world how it looks and how it feels. Like Philly looks straight up just like destroyed. Because in case you don't know, North Korea actually took over the United States, and this ain't no hillbilly shit like, man, get back to the country. It's more the line of they're beating the civilians, trying to control them over like some V for Vendetta shit. And now you have to fight in the resistance and, you know, fight for your rights and get your country back from these people who are just running amok all throughout the United States. So the game itself looks beautiful. I love the fact it looks really good on the Crytek engine, and of course they have that old school Crysis. I'm gonna call it old school because nobody talks about Crysis anymore. But Crysis, where you can actually hold your weapon up, similar in Warface 2, where you can change out your attachments on your weapon. Except they actually show the animation of you sliding off the top rail and putting on like a holographic scope or anything else that you're adding onto your weapon. You can even turn your M4 into a goddamn grenade launcher. What in the fuck? Not gonna lie, turning your M4 into a grenade launcher was insanely epic. I actually enjoyed using that weapon, but there are some issues that I still do have with the game. I can see this game being repetitive from a mile away. As soon as I was taking outposts, it literally, I would say, I had about a good hour into this game, and I was been constantly taking outposts. The game's story is kind of I really don't notice too much within it. I feel like the game can have a really good in-depth story if they just kept up with it, but I don't know if the first half of the game is just strictly taking outposts to get you used to it. But I've been doing it since I've been playing the game again, and I'm not gonna lie, it can get very repetitive, like on some The Division type repetitive where you're just constantly doing the same thing. So hopefully further on down the line the game can be a little bit better, but it's not repetitive in a bad way, because the AI can be smart at times and it can be insanely stupid. It's just funny. I literally had my teammate shooting at a fucking wall because there's an enemy on the other side. Not to plan a charge or throw an explosive down. They're just shooting at a damn wall. And then when I actually go inside the building, the enemy isn't even on that side. They're at the farther end. So I was just like, that's kind of funny. But at the same time, the AI can be smart where they can just kill you in an instant because your health does not regen. You have to actually use your health boosters, and you only get about 5 of them. And they're not going to be as frequent to find them. They're actually kind of scarce throughout the world. So if you're managing them good and not getting hit and picking your fights wisely, then you really wouldn't have an issue dying. But I'm not going to lie, I got worked plenty of times playing this game. So, just to end off this review, if you are someone who enjoys like these co-op loot type shooters where you have to constantly make sure you're crafting certain items and weapons, and also, you know, just having a nice co-op experience, because this game does not have online multiplayer, it has strictly online co-op. So it's not like a competitive first-person shooter that you're going to see with your Call of Duties and Titanfalls and Battlefields. So if you're looking for a experience like that, to where you can go into this big open world and try to fight for Philly, then I would definitely recommend this game. But like I said, there are still some issues. So at full price, like the $40, I mean, it's cheaper than 60. But at the same time, I'm like, go on Kingwin.com. You can definitely find some Steam keys for it. If you're on PC, you can find those Steam keys pretty damn cheap. Or if you're on Xbox One or PS4, I do hear that this game goes on sale a little bit, you know, from time to time. But if you would like to try it, I might say maybe try it out used to see if you like it. But other than that, if you really want to try a game like this, definitely pick it up. I'm actually having a blast with it. I'm actually shocked. So anyway, I would like to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode, and as always, if you enjoyed this episode, hit that like button. It really helps me out so I can get this video out to more people so we can share this great content. And also, of course, hit that subscribe button. If you are not subscribed to me, you can get those notifications first whenever I upload. I would like to thank you guys for tuning in. This is Quinn from Double Edge Games, and peace out.